Select.
Hello, Lucas Nation fans. Welcome back to another exciting Lucas Chat podcast with your host, Kennedy Lucas and Tairus Lester. Hope you guys are enjoying you guys this weekend. Hope you guys did enjoy the weekend vlog episode 63 as we talked about so many things on that show. So many good things to come up, like our new hit series that we're working on in production right now, The Millionaire Listing. Of course, the show will be in production in the summer of 2016, later released out for maybe 2016, maybe 2017. Hopefully we are have more news announcements for that for you guys, so the anticipation will not be delayed. You guys can actually enjoy the show that when it comes out, and we are very working on it with the creators Kennedy Lucas and Tairus Lester, both tag teaming on the hit series that K.L.P Studios is thinking about and producing. We had a lot of new characters, and we talked about a new anime that is in the running for the top 3. Hope you guys are following up for that as well. Again, I'm your host Kennedy Lucas. Tairus, I ask this question every time with this podcast. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's very good to be back on Lucas Chat podcast. I'm very excited for our new series, The Millionaire Listing. Hope you guys do enjoy that when it's finished and done with production. Hope you guys did enjoy the Sonic Rush Dimensions that I had produced out for Daily Motion and K.L.P Network, of course, exclusively on those two sites. So got a lot of good hits on that, so I'm ready to talk about this hit thing on the Lucas Chat podcast.
Okay, so I hope you guys are ready for today's podcast because we're going to talk about the hit game Street Fighter V. Now, I am very, very excited to be producing this podcast and talk about Street Fighter V. Now, this is a next new edition fighting game from Capcom that's installed. It's only for the next gen consoles. We'll let Tairus go through more details with that. But me and Tairus here, we actually looked at the game reviews. We actually look at the gameplay, and in my opinion, they're phenomenal. I like the 1080p resolution styles. I like how the characters look better. I like how they draw them out. They really animated them well to make them look more realistic. I like the poster. I wish they were selling the poster on Amazon. I know here on campus they were selling, well, not selling, they were viewing a poster in the actual game room, and I just want to get involved, and I want to find out if they're selling the poster when it's all over, or are they going to keep it there just for decorations of the actual center. But I actually want a poster like this because I like Ryu's pose in the title. I just like it. It's just something about it. But here on today's podcast, we're showing you guys right now, we're showing you the gameplay of Street Fighter V. You guys can pick it up, your digital copy at GameStop and Walmart or either Amazon for about $60. And the reason why I say that price because the game recently came out, so of course their games are going to have a high demand, a high cost, and then they're going to decrease in their value of the game later on, and maybe the next month, maybe December, maybe 2017, they're going to start to decrease their value. But we're going to let Tairus go in the more specs about the game. Tairus?
So I actually look forward to getting this game in my personal copy in my personal collection now. Street Fighter 5 is a fighting video game published by Capcom, who co-developed the game with Dimps. Dimps is another gaming company that Dimps is a long time Capcom associate. Um, it is the fifth main number entry for the Street Fighter series, hence the name Street Fighter 5. Of course, Street Fighter had a whole bunch of the game had a whole bunch of series, and they had co-series. They had Street Fighters 1, 2, 3, well, the third and strike. Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4 3DS edition. They had Capcom versus SNK 1 and 2. They had Marvel versus Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom 2, Marvel versus Capcom 3. Uh, let's see, Capcom versus SNK 2, the 2001 Millennium Fighting. So they had so many games. And even Ryu was a special character in the new game, Super Smash Brothers. So, we're very excited to have Street Fighter as a long time fighting game. Of course, the platforms is only for PlayStation 4 and Microsoft Windows, and of course Linux. Linux is kind of like a computer system that you can get. Of course, a single player video game is also multiplayer. Of course, the developers is Capcom and Dimps, and it was later released here this year. It came out February 16th, actually, 2016, that actual date. That was a couple days ago. I think that was like maybe last Tuesday, I want to say. The past Tuesday. Um, my take on this game here, and I actually seen footage of this game myself as well. This game is phenomenal. It's different. They added a lot of new elements. Um, I do want to touch on one subject though, Kennedy. I'm not really so much impressed with the story mode. I really think they should have added some cinematic type scenes into the game. I think it would have really bring the game out more if they added a kind of a cutscene cinematic for the story mode. They just had like picture arts for the story modes, and to me, it's kind of the story mode picture art cinematic pictures. It kind of reminds me of the Street Fighter Cross Tekken game. That is another game that Street Fighter crossed over with another company. I wasn't really too impressed with the story mode as much. I actually seen it. I think honestly, I think Capcom should have bringed out more in the story mode. I think they should have added some cinematic scenes. Uh, I could care less if their script was in Japanese or something like that. But if they were to add some cinematic movie type scenes into the game, I think it really would have popped the game out more, and people would have been more. It would have popped the game out really well, because it just seems like in every Street Fighter game this is exactly the same life gauge, the same characters. We're craving something different now. I'm not hating on Street Fighter 5 as much as I am doing a review on it. That's just what I take from my research and my lookups and my findings into this podcast. I really think they should have added some cinematic scenes to make the game stand out more, instead of having the same old concept as they did previously and previous. But if they would have added that, the game would have been on top. But amongst all else, I actually did look into their Capcom Fighters network. They built into the game. I think that's a really neat new experience for the next gen consoles, such as PlayStation 4, because we have a lot of people out there online right now. There's a couple people still on PlayStation 3, but on PlayStation 4, they had a lot of new not a lot of new gamers out there that's just got into gaming. So I think that was a neat Real neat concept for all the next gen console players out there. They can interact with people all over the world, uh, even from China down to Brazil, down to the U.S. A lot of people are communicating together and fighting together and actually having a good time. That's one thing I actually do like about Street Fighter is the Capcom Fighter Network, because it interacts with people. You know, there's so many people out there that's on there now, probably even right now as we speak, on the network playing games and playing against each other around.
All right, all right. That was actually pretty good reviewing in your finest, Tires. Now we're just gonna switch gears a little bit, and we do have some stats here from different sites such as GameSpot and IGN and all them. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do here at K.L.P Studios. We do our reviews first, and then we're just take on the intakes of other people's opinion about the game. I actually do have to agree, Lucas Nation fans, with Tairus here. I really do think they should have added more to the story mode. I think they kind of got, in my opinion, again, I'm not hating on Street Fighter. I think it's a very unique experience for the next gen. But I think they tend to get lazy when it comes to their story mode. And this is not just for Street Fighter 5. I think it's for all of the rest of them. They don't have a good story. Now, they have a good story, but they don't bring out as much of the story mode as they should have. Like, okay, we don't see sort of a cinematic story mode for Street Fighter Third Strike. We don't see it for Street Fighter 4. Okay, why not let it be Street Fighter 5 where they added some cinematic cutscenes into the game? Why not? I don't know. Maybe some animators and some anime Funimation or somebody out there probably gonna do a Street Fighter 5 anime movie out there one of these days. But in my opinion, I think they should have added that too. But we're gonna go on here. We're pulling up the reviews from IGN. IGN is a very good company. I'm just gonna read what they wrote because I want to know their intake on the game. So I'm just going to read here from IGN. Very excited for their reviews because they have some kick-ass reviews. It says here Street Fighter V takes the tried and true fundamentals the franchise has cultivated over 2 decades, and it has been 2 decades, and bakes into a trio of excellence and all new features that alter the ebb and flow of matches considerably from Street Fighter 4. And I do kind of agree with that point because it kind of will remind you of the Street Fighter 4 and the Street Fighter 4 3D edition. Same kind of concept, the same kind of art, but a little bit better. It starts with the V skill, a free to use action that differs from character to character. From Birdie, and that must be a new character. From Birdie nibbling on a snack and leaving the rest of his opponent to deal with, to Nikali's relentless ground proud, which can force opponents to rush to close where he wants them. Every V skill provides an interesting tactical advantage for me to leverage. Now, V skill is a new skill that they offered. Of course, the V is the Roman numeral for 5 is the letter. It looks like the letter V. So I'm glad they added some new features into the game, as we mentioned earlier. I'm glad that it's not original. Like, I'm glad it's not the same as the previous ones. Because again, the games, they tend to get a little boring if it's original, as we look for in relations to the Call of Duty series. A lot of fans are now thinking, okay, it's the same concept, it's the same thing. Why are we still buying the same kind of franchises if it's the same thing? I like how it differs from that as we look at the different games such as Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy has a completely different outlet, and to the company it's completely different outlet because every Tom Clancy game is so different from each other. Like, they're really different. You can't compare Splinter Cell to The Division or to Ghost Soldiers or to Rainbow Six or Rainbow Six Siege. You cannot compare those two completely different Tom Clancy's games and try to put them all at once. They don't have no relation. So that's why I kind of like about games these days that they're all different now, except for the Call of Duty type series. Now, I don't know their next one after Black Ops 3. I don't know if they're going to do uh, another new another new Call of Duty game. Hopefully, it's different from just a little bit. We don't want too much of a difference because the games won't sell. But I really wish they would have, kind of a difference. And that's why I'm back to the point. I'm glad that Street Fighter is a little bit different in a little bit of a way instead of having it the same old concept, the same old characters, the same old style, just remastered and re HD'd and re 1080p. So it's always good to look forward to that uh, as well. Of course, I want to read. There's a quote here. It says, "The best thing I can say about the cast is that I kind of want to play everyone, even characters I've never gave a second chance in a second glance to in 20 years of playing Street Fighter. I just still can't believe it's been 20 years. That's a long time."
Now, Kennedy, if I may read this quote here from also from IGN, they titled this 50-50. So Street Fighter V plays like a premium product, and it sure does look like one too. It takes the best of those first water colored cutscenes that introduce us to Street Fighter 4 and infuse it with an art style that's at that's at once stylish and grounded. It sounds good as it looks as well, perhaps better. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike aside, this is the best soundtrack in a Street Fighter ever, featuring bombastic remixes of old character themes alongside sticky new style and guitar filled jams that had me blowing my head insanely. I just wanted to touch a little bit based on that too, because again, like we mentioned earlier, we're looking at the new characters and we're looking at the new material that they added to the game, alongside with story mode that just had like picture art cutscenes. The actual characters itself in gameplay mode and actually seeing the characters in gameplay. The colors are very, very good. They are very vibrant. They're very stylish. They're very kind of the new edition, the new generation, the new style, how characters should look. And like I mentioned earlier, Kennedy, like I've seen gameplay of this, and I actually thought that this game is very interesting to sort of sort of get to know the characters, and there'll be more familiar characters. Hopefully, they'll make more remixes like Street Fighter Cross SNK or Street Fighter Cross Tekken 2. Or, I hope they do more of that type of series so they can introduce the different new characters from Street Fighters onto the new characters from Tekken.
Alright, and so now, of course, Street Fighter V has its own bundle package coming very soon. There has not been any release dates on the bundle yet, but I'm sure they probably will do a bundle for PlayStation 4. Of course, they're going to make the box look very, very amazing. Of course, comes with the Street Fighter game. Of course, there has been rumored that there will be a Street Fighter V Fight Pad Pro. It's like a PlayStation 4 controller, just more decorated with Street Fighters and a little bit different button controls onto the controller. I actually seen a couple of pictures of it, and it looks fantastic. I like it. I would buy one. I think it might solely be for the Street Fighter games to get a better experience with the game of Street Fighter, but I've seen it and it's amazing. It looks very promising. Let's just say that. So, of course, here we do have a bit of a verdict, and I'll read it. It's hard to criticize. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't read today. Criticize something that seems like it was better. It was tailor made. I cannot read. Tailor made for a wannabe competition player like me. But I just can't ignore how little Street Fighter V does for the average fighting game player. It sports a wonderful, diverse cast of characters, place a clear emphasis on strong fundamental play. It gives competitive players a great online experience, which I actually do agree because I've seen online stats and it's very amazing. Um, and it does it all while looking gorgeous. Again, I do want to touch on that because I like the poster. I wish they are selling the poster on maybe they probably are selling the poster on Amazon. I just didn't look today. It's been a long day, but I just love this poster. Strictly in terms of mechanics and competitive features, Street Fighter V is just about Pirius, but it has quite a ways to go before it stacks up again another fighting games, including its own um, predecessors. In terms of overall content, they label this game as an 8.0. That's a great.
And with that said, Kennedy, 8.0, great. This game is first rate. You know, it's awesome. They really, Capcom and Dimps, they really make this game possible. I guess they kind of slacked off on not giving it a perfect 10 simply because of some features that had some bugs into the game, but it's very good to see that a game gets a very high rating that makes players want to go buy the game, get its own copy, digital or a hardcover copy of the game itself. So, for all the Lucas Nation fans and the Lester fans out there, I hope you guys pick up this copy of this game because you will not be disappointed. Overall, minus the kind of slack of the cutscene story mode, the gameplay is just truly awesome, and I would recommend picking up a copy of Street Fighter V.
All right, Tairus Lester, and when's all that's been said, it's time to close the podcast for that. Again, I do alongside with Tairus. He I actually do recommend Lucas Nation fans, you guys pick up this game because you will not be disappointed into this game. But we're closing up today's podcast. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Special thanks to my live website executive, Tairus Lester, for joining me yet again for the Lucas Chat podcast. I really do appreciate it because my show actually has some high ratings now because I have more people and I have more interest and more things to talk about. And there's just so much podcast to come along within the future, and I look forward to our show of the Millionaire Listing. Very excited for that. Again, high rating for Street Fighter V. Please be sure to check out all of our social media accounts in the link description below. Please be sure to check out Sonic Ruster Mentions, a Tairus Lester produced project to celebrate Sonic's 25th anniversary this year. Happy birthday, Sonic. Hopefully Sega produce out a good game this year. We don't know what Sega's planning now. So be sure to check out everything. Be sure to check out the live website where the podcast is going on, and Daily Motion and YouTube at Kennedy Lucas. So you will not be disappointed with the content. As of right now, hope you guys did enjoy the Lucas Chat podcast of Street Fighter V. As of right now, Tairus is over there. Kennedy Lucas is here. We're logging out.